I couldn't hear it. So I don't know if it was my phone or what it was, but I couldn't hear the intro. So hopefully you guys could hear the intro. It's another crazy night for the Wrestle Talk podcast with Joe and Renee. We got referee Nick Chinn coming on. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get violent. It's going to get crazy. We have primetime Amy Lee coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have kids, you might not want to let them listen to the second part of the Wrestle Talk podcast because Amy Lee definitely does not pull back any speaking punches. Let me tell you, we're at the High Spot segment, the Shoot and Shout segment, the Wrestle Talk podcast game show challenge, the fantasy wrestling segment. We got so much going on, and I have some good news myself. Nightmare Jones, it is official. Nightmare Jones is going to be at the WrestleMania watch party once again this year. Almightly is picking me up on Friday, April the 5th, on his personal limousine. We're going to go to Rockstar Burgers. We're going to go to Joe's KC. We're going to go everywhere. I'm going to party the entire weekend with just my La Familia family, my La Familia brothers and sisters. Sure, other people from the FWWC are going to be there, but Nightmare Jones doesn't care about those people. He cares about La Familia. Only the people that support Almightly, I should say. If you don't support Almightly, then you're on the other side of the road. But anyways, let me go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend, the man that needs no introduction, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Night Owl. What's up?
¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family, welcome to episode 235. I am your host, the Night Owl, and I am joined by my partner in crime, Nightmare Jones. Huge announcement, Jonesy, but you know what? We got to do this the right way because the intro did not play. We'll have to figure out what happened with that. So let's give, if not me or you, a proper intro. Let's give the show a proper intro. A little bit out of order here tonight, though, folks. We'll go ahead and play the intro, and we'll get into introductions and tonight's edition of the High Spot segment. Enter Timmy. You know what to do.
Everybody got a prize. Everybody's gonna pay. Everybody's Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, and you're listening to the Wrestle Talk podcast.
And I'm the Night Owl. You're tuning to Wrestle Talk. 657-383-1521. We'll be discussing WWE, NXT, Lucha Underground, ROH, fantasy wrestling, and we'll have some of the best damn interviews for professional and independent wrestling that you've ever heard.
And I'm Joe Land. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, keep your arms in the vehicle at all times. Wrestle Talk begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the ride. Much better, ladies and gentlemen. Much better. I am really excited for tonight's show, Renee. We got Nick Chinn coming on, a referee. He's done multiple things in professional wrestling, and then Primetime Amy Lee. You remember Primetime Amy Lee, right, Renee?
Dude, it's always good to have a returning member of the Wrestle Talk family. And I got to tell you, man, probably in my top 5 interviews of 2018, Amy Lee is just cut from a different cloth. She's the type of chick that'll body slam you and then drink a beer with you, man. Amy Lee's going to be a great interview. But, man, also Nick Chinn, bro, a guy's been in this area for for quite a few years now. He's still relatively young. He's got a chance to referee some of the very best in the Midwest. Recently, we saw him doing a front flip at a Journey Pro show. We're going to ask him about that and much, much more, Jonesy. But listen, man, we got to start off the show the right way. So, ladies and gentlemen, do us the distinct honor of please removing your caps, placing your hands over your hearts as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth, and that's America, dang it.
Oh, say, can you see? And the rock is red. Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. Oh, the land of the free.
Oh my goodness, absolutely brings a tear to my eye every single time. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, it is official. Nightmare Jones will be at the WrestleMania watch party. So if you've ever wanted to meet Nightmare Jones, all you gotta do is come to the WrestleMania watch party. Why don't you tell them about that, Renee, real quick?
Well, you know what? It would be great to share that with them, but unfortunately, Jonesy, we're not having a WrestleMania watch party. I know you guys in La Familia are always run a little bit behind. You guys are a little bit slow. It is actually the Wrestle Talk Podcast Universe Mania watch party. So when you said WrestleMania, immediately I felt like, come on, man. You're supposed to be my co-host. What's wrong with you? Bro, I got a ton of announcements. We're going to talk about Roman Reigns' return. We're going to talk about Bruce Pritchard. We're going to talk about Kofi getting screwed and anything else you guys want to talk about. All you got to do is dial that number. Before, after, and during the interviews, you guys are welcome to do so. Again, that number is 657-383-1521. Intern Timmy, cue me up right before I give the number one more time. 657-383-1521. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into tonight's edition of the High Spot segment.
Earth rings. We have now taken over your radio.
Hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high. Hit 'em low, hit 'em low, hit 'em low.
Hit the hole. The right got no game. I'm breaking you out the frame, coming through like a train. Nothing to take over the whole world is my goal. With my unstoppable spoon, taking over control. You can't get none of this. We're running this.
Oh my goodness. Do we have so much stuff we can talk about in the High Spot segment? And I think that the one thing that we need to talk about is the Honky Tonk Man is being inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. Honky Tonk Man was a huge wrestler in the WWE. He was one of the longest, if not, I don't know if the record's been broken yet, but he was the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion in WWE/WWF history. The Honky Tonk Man was amazing. What do you think about the Honky Tonk Man going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, Night Owl?
So from a professional level, I think Honky Tonk Man deserves every little bit of recognition that he gets. I think he is a staple of the golden era. I believe that he brought something to the table that we've never seen in professional wrestling before, though he kind of was sort of just ripping off of Elvis, but it ain't the first time we've seen people rip off other characters outside of wrestling to do their gimmick. So from a strictly an in-ring and character perspective, I think Honky Tonk Man is the man. I've had a chance to see him live. I saw him at Metro Pro. He came in. It's amazing to see him still working at such a high level at his age. But on the flip side, because you know we're all about integrity and class here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, Jonesy, Honky Tonk Man hasn't always been the nicest guy, okay? Now, guys like that get over a lot. You know, see Jim Cornette. Guys can be rude and crude, and there's fans out there that love it. Just look up a shoot interview on YouTube, and you'll see how many listens it has. And what we did is we recognized that Honky Tonk Man was going into the Hall of Fame, we actually did a little bit of research, and my man Money Mayo actually threw something up that really piqued my interest. So now that we know that the Honky Tonk Man is going to be a class, part of the 2019 Hall of Fame class for WWE, we wanted to take y'all back in time for about 2 minutes and 11 seconds and play a little interview that Honky Tonk Man did a few years ago when he was asked how he felt about the WWE Hall of Fame. Enter Timmy. I know you have that clip. Why don't you go ahead and play it for us and make sure everybody can hear it, please.
From AC in California, same subject, says, yo, I read these verbatim. Yo, what the fuck's up with the Hall of Fame and why aren't you in? Vince McMahon Sr.'s damn limo driver is in and you're not. Why don't they appreciate the real history of wrestling? The limo driver, is this true?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Doug Dudley, okay.
why I'm not in. Obviously, they haven't asked me, but if they did ask me, would I go in? That is like the question of all time. Would you go if they ask you? Well, I'm not really sure if I would. And that's a good. And I get asked that question a whole lot. And they say, "Well, Pete Rose is in. Pete Rose wasn't a wrestler." That Hall of Fame is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, that's put. Paul Orndorff said it the best. He said, "I got a first-class ticket. I had a nice hotel. I had a good dinner. I got a good payday, and I got a $35 fucking plaque that I left in the hotel room." So there you go. It's not a Hall of Fame, for Christ's sakes. I mean, I know wrestling fans are very passionate about some things, but the Hall of Fame is something you shouldn't be passionate about. You know, I mean, Jerry Lawler called us druggies and homosexuals and all kinds of things for years and years on his TV show, and then he gets inducted. Dustin Rhodes, baby, heck of a P1. That fat piece of lazy shit, he's in the Hall of Fame. Mr. Perfect blows himself away with an overdose of cocaine. He's in the Hall of Fame. But now they say, well, we're not sure if we can put Benoit in there. Benoit took that fucking extreme wrestling shit to a higher level, brother. Nobody, I don't know if anybody can top. I don't even know if New Jagger, one of those guys, can top that shit.
So you might not even take it if they offered it?
Not right now. I'm too busy. I do my own thing. See, if I did that and you said, come on down, let's do this thing for the video and let these people know what the real story is. There's a no-compete clause for like 90 days after the Hall of Fame where you can't do anything in wrestling. And I think they try to slide that if you go to the Hall of Fame, you have to clear all your bookings with them. Guess what? Fuck you. As Sheik was fuck you. Fuck you.
Oh, wow. Wow. So listen, Jonesy, digest that. I'm going to drop the number again because we definitely want to hear what the Wrestle Talk family feels about that. And again, that number is 657-383-1521. Also, what do you guys think about Kofi getting screwed in the returns of Kevin Owens? How do you guys feel about the return of Roman Reigns and the overwhelming support that he's gotten? And then lastly, there was a story about a very well-known wrestler getting into a fist fight in Chicago, Illinois at an AAW show, which, Jonesy, why don't you dig that up and just give us the short version of it, and then we'll let you guys go crazy, blow up the phone lines, and we'll talk all about it. Now, we're going to do that with you guys, but hear me out, Joe. But we also have a guest that's going to join us for just a couple of minutes, because those who are watching on the Facebook Live feed, Jonesy, I need you to lock into the Facebook Live feed for just a minute, because I have something very, very special sitting in front of me, and I want to make sure that we talk about it as well. So why don't you go ahead, give us the rundown on the AAW story. We'll bring on my buddy Scott, and then we'll open it up for the callers just to make sure that there's time for everybody. Is that cool?
Absolutely. I can definitely do that. What it appears is that there was a wrestling show that was going on, and you know, fans seem to get a little bit passionate about wrestling, and they like to try to get involved. And one of the fans decided to almost interject himself. He got into an argument with another wrestler, a heel wrestler. They had a bunch of words. The guy walked away. Well, Eddie Kingston comes out, and Eddie Kingston is a guy that doesn't pull any punches. Like, he doesn't care. And the guy started the same stuff with Eddie Kingston, where Eddie Kingston just started, throwing left and rights, and they had to escort him into the ring to get him away from the wrestler, and he was still trying to get to him, and the guy ended up getting, he got ejected from the wrestling show. So, yeah, it was definitely crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to a wrestling show, it's okay to heckle the wrestlers, but don't try to touch them. Don't try to, get into arguments with them. It's best to just stay in your seat. I mean, you can jump up and say something, but don't try to interject yourself into the match, because it never turns out.
Hey, Jonesy.
It never turns out. I've seen multiple
You're right.
times, bro. You've seen wrestlers that have you. Hello, Pauline.
All right, looks like we're having a little bit of interference there, guys. We'll try to get Jonesy connected again. So, anywho, this story with Eddie Kingston, I think we're all familiar or have seen at some point what happens when fans cross the line. Listen, I've had wrestlers pretty much close to spitting their gum in my face. I've had wrestlers fling their cigars in my face. But you know what? Me as a fan, if I'm going to get in their face, a reaction should definitely be anticipated, okay? Now, where it crosses the line and when there's physical pushing and shoving going on, that's when you get yourself in trouble. We all saw what happened years ago when that fan tried to run in during the Stone Cold Triple H match, right? That did not go very well, nor will it go very well for anybody that decides to do that. So allow us as fans of independent and professional wrestling to remind you fans to stay out of the wrestler's way, heckle them, get them fired up. You are to contribute to the show, not to try to take the show over. And if you do anything along those lines, well, there's only one word to summarize people that do that, Jonesy.
Stupid, 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 and stupid.
Well, there you go. Let a guy who is a subject matter expert on stupidity, 6'9", tell you how stupid that really is, man. You don't want to put yourself in the line of fire with guys that work out and kick ass for a living. You know what I mean, Jonesy?
I do know what you mean, and I definitely apologize. Something happened with the phone lines, but I am back, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, you don't want to do that. I've seen it multiple times, and it never turns out right. It never, ever, ever turns out. Most time it ends up with the person getting the crap kicked out of them. But
as we saw here,
yeah.
see sample 1A for what happens when you do dumb stuff at a wrestling show. Now, Jonesy, I know we want to talk about Roman. We want to talk about Kofi. We want to talk about the Honky Tonk Man. But we're going to take a few minutes out of the High Spots segment to talk to a friend of mine who I just recently brought onto the team without you knowing, Jonesy. I didn't really say anything to you. I know I was like, hey, we're going to be doing something soon, but I did not give you an exact date and time. So that's why I'm telling you, bro, you definitely want to tune into the Facebook Live feed right now, because you have to see it. I can't even explain it to you. And as you do that, fans, I want you guys to make sure you're tapping that screen.
About the,
what?
Are you talking about the Wrestle Talk podcast mug that you have filled with your very tasty-looking beverage?
Yes, this is it. This is it. So we're going to talk about that for just a couple of minutes with the guy who I actually had a chance to beat a couple of months ago at a Midwest Elite Wrestling show. We became fast friends. He showed me what he can do. I gave him an opportunity. He made this mirror that's behind me, and now he's transferred them or that design onto mugs. They can be used for ice cream floats. They can be used for beer, whatever you guys want, and we can actually customize them with your name and they officially go for sale tomorrow. More details and pricing available online. That said, bro, let's go ahead and bring on Scott Rathbum from Rathbum's Engraving, representing Osawatomie, for a few minutes to talk about this incredible piece of hardware. Everybody, go ahead and welcome our boy Scott to the show once again, man. Let's go ahead and give this man a proper introduction and round of applause. Welcome back, Scott. Welcome back, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well.
Dude, you are doing well, and I'll tell you what, man, I am one happy camper. We finally got it done. We've been talking about it for a while, bro. The Wrestle Talk podcast, custom, hand-engraved mugs are ready to be produced and shipped as of tomorrow, bro. You're a big part of making this happen.
Absolutely.
You're a big part of making this happen, man. Tell us kind of how you got into it, if you can, and how excited you are about your partnership with the Wrestle Talk podcast.
Well, as far as how I got into it, it's kind of a fluke, to be honest with you. I've always been an artist. I've always been able to draw and whatnot. Now, I got a Dremel. My lovely wife got me a Dremel some time ago, and I got this diamond tip piece. I was like, I wonder. My uncle had actually done a mirror for me before, and I was like, I wonder if this is how he did it. So I tried it on a random piece of mirror I had, and I was like, this is going to work. So I started doing it, and that's how it came about.
Very, very nice, dude. I'll tell you what, when we met, Joe, it was at an MEW show, and Scott, he's a super fan. He's a huge supporter of professional wrestling, and he kind of was off to the side with a couple of the things that he had already done. He did a couple of mirrors and a few other things, and him and I immediately, we started talking, hit it off, and at the time it didn't ring a bell because I know we were going to try to do some sort of merge, but we didn't want to do T-shirts because T-shirts are what the wrestlers sell. So I know we've been playing with the idea of doing different things. And then finally, since we always like to have a cold beverage during the Wrestle Talk podcast, it just made sense. I put two and two together, reached out to Scott, man, and a couple of weeks later, here is the prototype. Here is the very first one sitting in front of you. And you guys, as of tomorrow, will be able to purchase them. Now, the ones that we're fabricating right now are a little bit smaller than this one because we wanted to make sure we kept the price down. We want you guys to be able to enjoy them and not necessarily break the bank. And so I can tell you, I saw one earlier today of the smaller version, which are the ones that we're going to be making, at least for now. It looked absolutely phenomenal. Scott actually even added my name to it. We're going to make some adjustments to that design because I think we can take it up another level. But I'll tell you guys what, it's going to be great. It is all hand done. I've seen this man in action. And to get a piece of hardware like this, man, in the support of the Wrestle Talk podcast, which we do everything that we can to support wrestling. You guys know if you've been here for any extended period of time. And thanks to Scott, it's really all happening, man. So thank you, bro. Thank you so much. How excited are you to be doing this with us, man?
It's first off, I feel that it's a blessing that I'm able to have this type of talent, because in all honesty, not a lot of people have that kind of talent to be able to freehand draw in general, much less take do an engraving free. So it's much of a blessing, and being able to do this for Wrestle Talk podcast is I'm a very proud person right now to be able to do that for Wrestle Talk podcast. It's just an amazing thing for me to be able to do it for you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jonesy, you hearing it from the man himself. We basically, we got our own artists now on deck here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. And not only do you do mugs and stuff, right? Like if people want custom work, like say for an anniversary or a birthday, you do that as well. And if they mention Wrestle Talk, you're actually going to be giving them a discount on it as well, right? If I understand that correctly.
Absolutely. If they're coming through your fan base, any way, form, or fashion, I plan on giving a discount to them or his or her per order whenever they order. Now, it doesn't, you know, it could be anything. You know, I engrave mirrors. That's the biggest thing I engrave. Due to because I supply the mirror for for the order. Now, if you're wanting other things engraved, I have to get some time and figure some things out to where I can take care of that order for you. But otherwise, yeah, I can engrave on pretty much anything and everything. Absolutely.
No doubt, and you do a fantastic job. I know we're going to see you on March 8th. We will actually have some mugs and mirrors for sale that day, not just Wrestle Talk stuff, just cool stuff in general that Scott's done. Scott, tell us real quick how people can find out more about you. Do you have a Facebook page? Do you have a website? People need to know about what you're doing, man, because it's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And first off, Mr. Renee, you're saying my name wrong. It's Rathbun. RATHBUN as a nickel.
Got you.
It's Rathbun's Engraving. It's Rathbun's Engraving Facebook. Now, my Facebook is also linked to my website as well. So you can check out some other samples on my website as well. You can also order through my website or my Facebook page as well. Absolutely.
Dude, well, I'll tell you what. I got to hear the reaction before we let you go, Scott. Jonesy, you're seeing the glass. You've been here from the very beginning on the Wrestle Talk podcast. I know you and I had some back and forth about merch, and we finally came together and decided we were going to do something unique, something special. Now that you're seeing it live and in person, bro, I got to get your thoughts, and I want Scott to hear it before we let him go.
Well, it's definitely a cool item, and it's something that, you know, not very many other I don't think any other podcast has. So I would have to say we're the first podcast that has engraved beer mugs. So that is definitely cool. You know, so that it looks absolutely amazing. Hopefully I'll be able to get one when I come to Kansas that weekend. So hopefully I will be able to pick one up, because I definitely need one.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Absolutely. You definitely do need one. You know, I mean, let's not forget, you know, we do have a huge event for MEW coming up March 8th either.
Well, you're right, Scott, 100%, man. Well, listen, last thing I wanted to hit you with, man, before we move on to our first featured interview of the evening, man, you actually messaged me last night during was it SmackDown or maybe it was Monday night. Dude, how excited were you when you saw Roman Reigns make his way down to the ring and announce that his leukemia was in remission and that he is back, dude? I know you were flying off the handles, man. Share that with the fans here, and then we'll go ahead and let you go, bro.
Oh my God, Mr. Roman Reigns, the Roman Empire. Oh my God. You know, there again, like he said, there's so many people that sent him blessings, saying, hey, sending him prayers and everything. I am so glad that he has been able to come back in remission. That is I mean, cancer sucks. I know. I have family that has died from cancer. I have family that has cancer and is in remission. I know other people. I mean, cancer absolutely sucks. So it is such an awesome thing to see Mr. Roman Reigns come back to WWE and say that he is in remission and back in action. That is phenomenal.
Well, it is phenomenal. And you know what? We try to keep it as positive as possible. We are here to support pro wrestlers at every level and all the people that surround the periphery of pro wrestling, from the ring announcers to the valets to the referees to women's wrestlers to podcasters to guys who love wrestling just like you. Scott, really looking forward to seeing you on the 8th over at Midwest Elite Wrestling, man. Thank you for partnering up with the Wrestle Talk podcast, man. See some great things happening in the future. And, dude, keep rocking it, dude. I'm looking forward to seeing you very, very soon.
Don't forget to come onto the show and get your own beer mug with Wrestle Talk Podcast. They will be available there as well.
That's right, guys. Rathbun Engraving on Facebook. Don't be lazy. Give them a like and tell them the Wrestle Talk Podcast sent you. Scott, thank you very much, bro. Have a great night, and thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me once again.
Grace and peace, brother. Adios.
Later.
Later. Jonesy, we did it, baby. What do you think? Jonesy? Oh, Jonesy, not again. Don't tell me.
Sir, I was no, sir, no. I was intern Timmy was telling me that we had a special guest on. So that's why I was not on. I was talking to intern Timmy.
Okay, got you. All right. So do we have Nick Chinn ready to go, or is it going to be a little bit before we have him on?
We do have him, but he is ready to go whenever we are, sir.
Well, that's awesome, bro. Well, listen, guys, you guys heard the huge news. The beer mugs, the ice cream float mugs, whatever you want to call them, they are going on sale tomorrow at the WrestleTalkPodcast.com. You're going to start seeing stuff on our Instagram, our Facebook, our Snapchat. It's all coming. And as I mentioned before, they can all be customized, and we can actually add your name as long as it's not too long. All right. We can add your name to the glass for a small additional fee. So you really can't beat that. And we want to encourage you guys to check it out for yourself. Okay. When they go on sale, we want you guys to buy them. Let us know what you think. If you hate them, ship it back. We'll fully refund you. If you love it, we want you to spread the word, because you know what? Here on the Wrestle Talk Podcast, we're continuing to grow. As you guys know, already this year, we've interviewed Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. We've got Tessa Blanchard to come on the show, or scheduled. We tentatively had Raven to come on the show, but his thing kind of got screwed up. So we're going to try to reschedule that. And it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And you know what, man? I know that everybody got all choked up the way I did when Roman came out, Jonesy. And we're going to talk to Nick Chinn about that here in just a minute. Yeah. But as you guys know, I put this T-shirt up back when Roman made the announcement that he was going to have to step away from pro wrestling. And my commitment was to keep it up until he came back. And guess what, guys? This Monday, Roman Reigns came back, and we can now retire this T-shirt as the backdrop of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. So, Jonesy, do you got a little bit of music that you can play while I take this down and put another shirt up, man? Because I feel like it's a special moment, and truly we should all be grateful that God is so big and so mighty that he's able even to defeat cancer, baby. You got to love it. So hit me with some music as I take it down and put another shirt up.
There you go, sir.
All right, Jonesy. Well, I'm still working on the shirt. I'll tell you what, though, man. This past week, Jonesy, was incredible for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is that, A, we had a great show last Wednesday. We had some fantastic guests. As you know, Paul Michael Davis and Matt Light joined us, and they did a killer job. And then the following day, yours truly was over at Journey Pro. Journey Pro, the hottest, by my estimation, up-and-coming promotion in the world. And we have the distinct honor tonight, Jonesy, and I want intern Timmy to start queuing up this music, to interview their senior official, Nick Chinn. Now, Nick Chinn's been around for a while. Metro Pro, NWL, and now Journey. And we're going to talk to him about all three and more. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show for the very first time, referee Nick Chinn.
What's going on, sir? Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I love the intro. I might have requested that song. That is my favorite wrestler's theme song.
Whoa, wait a minute, Nick, check this out, Nick. Check this out. Joe, wait. Listen. So here's what we're going to do, because we love to reward the listeners of the Wrestle Talk podcast. If you can name that song, that theme song, we will give you a Funko Mystery WWE Pop. I will mail it to you tomorrow. Not you, Joe. You don't qualify. Sorry. But if you guys can name that theme song, you guys will win a free WWE Mystery Funko Pop. Boom. That's how we do it here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Go ahead and carry on, gentlemen, but I know the fans would love that. So hit me with it, y'all.
Starting off hot.
Sweet. Go ahead, Jonesy.
What I was going to say was you know, it's funny that you mentioned that wrestler is your favorite wrestler. There was a little bit of controversy that happened on SmackDown last night with Kofi Kingston. What did you think about all that?
Oh, that wasn't controversy. That was just the rightful person coming back and getting his rightful title shot that he never got when he lost the belt to Goldberg. So I thought it was justice well done, and I hope he wins in 2 weeks. So I'm happy that Kevin Owens is back.
That is definitely true. You know, but I can tell you that from going on to the Facebook wrestling pages, there were a lot of people that were not very happy with Vince McMahon's decision to do that. And this is like the second time that he's pulled somebody out of the main event and replaced them. Do you kind of see maybe a storyline where it's Stephanie and Shane going up against Vince for the control of the company? Or
I could see it being a possibility. I mean, I think they should just give Owens the belt, but, you know, I'm kind of biased, you could say. But I could definitely see them maybe spicing things up by trying to get Kofi in that title picture, or just waiting to see what happens after Fastlane, and then maybe Kofi gets a shot at Mania. Who knows how they'll end up doing that.
They definitely could. Renee, what were your thoughts about all this that happened last night on SmackDown?
You know what's crazy, man? I 100% agree with Nick Chinn. I believe that this is the right thing to do. Mainly because, yes, he's been gone for a while, but KO has been getting the short end of the stick for a while. We all know that it was way too long in between his opportunity at the Universal Championship or the WWE Championship or whatever it may be. Because, yes, the injury played a huge part in it, but let's be honest, Nick, they were kind of dicking the guy around the last 6 months before he got hurt too. So, yes, even though Kofi Kingston has just as much just as good a case to make, the fact of the matter is that now everybody's talking about it even more. They're talking about whether it was fair, whether it wasn't fair. And that's what you're trying to do, right? You're trying to get people to buy the pay-per-view and figure out exactly how things are going to shake out. So as far as I'm concerned, from a business perspective, I think they did a wonderful job. And you can't even say that Kevin Owens is undeserving because he most certainly is.
Of course. So now we're just going to see what happens next. And who knows what will happen at Fastlane. Will Owens become the rightful champion? Will he get bamboozled out of his title shot like he has in the past? I guess we'll see what happens. But all I know is everybody's talking and everybody's going to be watching in 2 weeks, along as myself will be watching as well. So.
Absolutely. One of the other things I wanted to talk to you about is, you know, the big talk is Monday night Roman Reigns came back, and you know, once again you have wrestling fans that are saying that they're thinking that maybe because he came back so fast that WWE had that they faked cancer to get him over with the crowd. And I personally, I don't think that the WWE would do anything like that because of everything that they have with the cancer and the cure for Connor. But there are some wrestling fans that do believe that this is entirely a work. What are your thoughts about all that?
I think just repeating that, trying to take a serious leukemia condition and turning it into a storyline is really horrible. And I feel like in 2019, you can't do something like that. Now, if this was 1997, 98, during the Attitude Era, you know, that'd probably be kind of tame compared to like the Katie Vicks and, you know, the giving birth to a hand or running people over with cars. I think if this came out to being quote unquote not real, like they used it to get sympathy, that's just really messed up. And I think that would really offend a lot of people, and I think that would be really bad for business. And I think a lot of people would be very upset, especially people that have gone through cancer and that have gone through that kind of stuff. Turning it into a storyline, just bad taste all around.
Exactly. They would lose more than what they would gain. Renee, what were your thoughts about all that, Renee?
Oh, well, you know what, man? I was supremely excited. I mean, as you guys heard, we put the T-shirt up in the background during this time that Roman was away, you know, to make sure that his fight was not forgotten, because it's so common that, you know, we get bad news, we see it, we feel empathetic, and then like we just move on and we like kind of forget, right? And we tried to make sure that we kept that alive because through all these weeks and months that he's been gone, he's still been fighting this fight. And I think he's been fighting this fight for two reasons. One, because he wants to get better for his sake and for the sake of his family, but also, like he said, the support of the fans and the just the compassion and the overall embrace that he received was so overwhelming that he felt like he owed it to everybody to fight and be able to come back. So it's phenomenal to see some of the snarkiness go away from wrestling, even if it's just for one night because of one guy, and everybody to just being able to genuinely embrace a guy that many of the people in the crowd would have booed a year ago. A year ago, these very same people would have booed the daylights out of the guy. And it's nice to see because there is a lot of jerks in wrestling, a lot of people who think they're smarter than everybody else. There's just a lot of negativity, and I wanted to ask Nick about that once we get to further down into the interview. But the fact of the matter is, if we can stop time and take a snapshot of what happened on Monday night, I think it's one of those things that sticks in your memory as an overall image of the positive effect that pro wrestling can have when so often we're talking about the negative. Because we let off talking about Eddie Kingston fighting fans. We let off with Honky Tonk Man trashing the Hall of Fame. And it's so easy to do that, but sometimes we sweep the good stories under the rug, and we definitely were not going to do that. I'm excited. I know everybody else feels great about what's happening concerning Roman, man. It's fantastic, Joe.
Absolutely. All right. I just have a couple more questions, Nick. When did you, I should say, how did you get into the world of professional wrestling?
So that is a good question. I broke in about 2008 for Whiplash Wrestling. I was going with a couple friends to help I just, first of all, I just ended up going to a show. We got there early. It was out in some schoolyard show. Like, you've been to those independent shows where it's out in the middle of nowhere and it's like you're out in the concrete.
I still go to them.
The ring,
I still go to those shows, Nick. I love it.
I've worked a couple years ago, but so we're there setting up, and then we're just kind of learning the basics of wrestling, and then next thing I know, it's like, hey, you need a referee? They're like, yeah, sure. Throw on a referee shirt and you brought some slack. Cool, you're a ref tonight. And I remember working with Big Dog. First match was with Big Dog, and then I ended up working with Tommy Snow and Kyle King were the three people I remember working with. And I remember the main event was a battle royal, and Tommy got eliminated and gave me a wedgie, and it hurt so bad. Rammed it up there tight.
It's gonna leave a mark.
And the beauty is he just never told me. Yeah, that's definitely a mark. For sure.
All right, well, I don't want to take up all of the questions because I know that you're a very, very busy man. So, Renee, why don't you go ahead and jump in here with any questions that you have, sir?
No doubt about it, Joe. Well, you know what, Nick? As you know, man, I've followed your career fairly close because of the fact that we're kind of in the same region. You're in Topeka, I'm in Kansas City, and we kind of came together because of Metro Pro. That's when I first saw you plying your trade. Now, a lot has happened since those Metro Pro days, so I kind of want to go down memory lane with you. So let's start here. So when I started going to Metro Pro, it was like the prime. It was Derek Stone was champion, and he was defending against whoever the biggest name that they were bringing in, be it Sanjay Dutt or whoever it is. And then you had Wyatt and Sterling, and then you had like the besties in the world versus Luke Langley and his partner, right? And it was just such an
Graham Bell.
Right, Graham Bell, right, the Merc. So it was just incredible the lineup that Chris and the gang was putting together. Let's start there from when I remember first seeing you, man. What were those days like? How did the crowd compare to what you've seen since then? And what was the environment like in the locker room?
For me, the crowd never really changed. I think the crowd always kind of stayed the same as far as that dedicated wrestling crowd that liked old school wrestling, but also liked seeing what the future had. As far as the locker room vibe goes, it's always been the same for me. I was welcomed in open arms. I remember when I first came in, I was scared to death. I was so nervous because this was like one of my big opportunities. I almost got fired on my shoot job at the time because I tried to leave work early. I don't regret that decision because honestly, without Metro, I don't know where I'd be today. So I have to give Chris, the owner, a lot of credit for it. But as far as like being there, you're always up to doing something fun. There's always going to be something going on. And you know, back being at Metro, we did have a lot of memories there in the Turner Rec Center. And I'm sure we'll definitely talk about a few of those too. But I remember my first match was working with Jeremy Wyatt. One of the guys that I have nothing but respect for. So my first match was working with Jeremy Wyatt. I actually worked with him twice on the first night I broke in. Definitely nerve-wracking for sure. And that show was, I think it was December 6th, 2013. It was Adam Pearce and Ace Steele's main event for that show. And it was my first time there. I'm like, all right, you just got to jump. Because you don't know what's going to happen if you don't ever jump. So, but I'm just trying to think of how else I can word that.
No, dude. Well, let me tell you something. I'll give you a chance to find the words because for those who don't know, and Jonesy, I know you know this, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. If you guys are like, well, I kind of heard that name, but I'm not sure. So this past week on Monday Night Raw, the guy that was kind of playing offensive lineman, like Orlando Pace or Willie Roaf, right? That guy who was trying to block Becky Lynch from running outside the ring, bald head guy, goatee, kind of a cool-looking dude with a nice suit jacket. That's Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. So when Nick broke in, when it comes to Midwest independent wrestling, he might as well have been refereeing Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes on a much smaller scale, right? Because now, you know, close to 10 years later, Nick, those guys, the guys you mentioned, have gone down or will go down in Midwest wrestling aura as possibly some of the best and greatest Midwest wrestlers of all time, despite the fact that none of them, other than like Ace and a few guys, you know, Derek had a couple appearances in WWE, but generally speaking, none of them really, quote unquote, made it by the traditional standards. But anybody who lives in this area knows those guys are legend, whether you like them or not. Fair? Is that fair to say?
Of course. Of course, definitely. Also, probably another thing, we'll probably get more into it, but some of the talent you get to work with back then and look where they are now as well, like ACH, for example, came through Metro Pro for years, and look where he's now at. He's now in Florida. He's part of the new developmental guys that are up in NXT right now. So it's really nice to see guys that you do get to rub elbows with. You're pretty much rubbing elbows with the potential future of pro wrestling too, and you can say, hey, I was a part of that. Like there's a lot of teams, there's a lot of people I can say that for. You brought them up earlier, the Besties. I would bring up the Regal Twins, Jeremy Wyatt if he ever decided to go beyond the bubble of Kansas City. Another guy, Rashid Ali, I think is going to be a big star someday. But like you see, like the crop of talent that Metro had, and what Journey Pro has now, you'll see, you know, a lot of those guys are going to be big stars someday. But we get the privilege to watch them before they become a big star. Kind of like a band playing at the Granada in Lawrence. Now they're going to be at the Staples Center selling out, you know?
Yeah, that's
to see that transition.
Yeah, that's a great example and something I think everybody can relate to. Now, with all the positive with Metro and now with Journey Pro, there was definitely about a year to a year and a half in between. And that year, we call that the NWL era, right? I'm curious, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
You were one of the guys that was there kind of under the radar, doing your job, you know, making sure that the company upheld the reputation that it was trying to put out to everybody. And I think you always did an exemplary job of doing that. And that's why I've always been a fan. Now, I know in the beginning, it was something that really seemed to be kind of like the next page in what was going to happen, not only here in Kansas City or in the Midwest, but it almost felt like these guys could legitimately be keeping up with Ring of Honor or whomever in the next 5 years. I think everybody believed that. I think you guys as the workers believe that. I think us as the fans believe that. I think the ownership believed that. But unfortunately, that didn't come to pass, and NWL is no more. So from the perspective of a guy who actually was there, can you tell us just in your own words kind of what happened, how high were the highs and how low were the lows, and how did we end up kind of where we are today?
I guess the best way I could describe it was like NWO was kind of like a piece of the dream for a lot of workers. Getting to work every 2 weeks, getting direct deposit in every week from your work, getting to travel from Kansas City to Overland Park to Joplin. Like I was getting to live a bit of the dream that a lot of us ever strided for. At first it was a little rough because we were learning how to start a wrestling business from ground zero. We had all the tools, we had all the players, but until you're in that situation to start a business and work your way up, there's ups and downs. There were some great highs, which I would say probably about the first year in October, we were hitting our stride at that point. We were having good shows. I have just so many memories of working with talent like Steven Richards, Hardcore Holly. I mean, the Faces of Fear, Haku. You can't even make half that stuff up. It's like you were on a roller coaster ride and you're just along for the journey. And for me, I just wanted to wave the flag of NWL because figured we were going to be something because we were striving to be something special. And for the last 5 months we had it around, we were doing good TV, we were doing good on ticket sales, and we were about to open up our own arena. And to this day, we have the arena ready. It's just, I wish people disagree with me, but I wish we could have actually ran a show in the Performance Center like we wanted to do so badly. Because that weekend was supposed to be chicken and pickle, wrestling show, and then an after party at the bar. Like, we were gonna make that whole day into a weekend, a whole day of activities, and just, it sucks that we never got to that. For me, I wanted to do it just one time, but a lot of people were just like, if we did it and then it got shut down, it would have been a lot worse, of a lot more pain. But for me, being a part of that, I will never take away. I mean, it's just one of my favorite wrestling memories because I got to do a lot. I got to work with a lot of great talent, and I was able to do what I love on a more frequent basis. Because doing it every 2 weeks, you get into a routine. I mean, but I get my haircut every 2 weeks before a show. Now it's kind of weird. I don't work as much as I did it back then, but I miss having that routine down. But for a lot of the guys, I met a lot of great friends. Dak Draper, one of my good friends, I can say. Rashid, I got to see him come up from working staff to now working as what he's doing now, and just getting to learn from the great minds of wrestling in that company. So I know people trash on NWL, but to just be fair, when they were around, they did make the area better as far as wrestling goes. And I think Kansas City is hurting that they're not around anymore. But when a door shuts, the window opens. And if the NWL didn't close, then I wouldn't be working for Journey Pro or other companies that I've gotten my foot into because of. Sorry, I went on a long tangent there.
No, you know what? That was great, and that's exactly what I wanted to know, man. Because that hurt everybody. Yours truly included, because we finally had, and Jonesy, my partner, is actually in West Virginia. He's got like Ring of Honor at his fingertips, because he's right next to Maryland.
You're spoiled.
Yeah, he's very spoiled, and so he's heard me over the years get excited when something big happens. Like when Glory Pro came around, and when NWL came around, and when the Metro show kind of happened after the NWL thing. I go, man, could it be? Could it be? Is there a chance that we're going to get it back? So he's seen me go through the ups and downs, dude, and I wanted to get that perspective from you, because I think there are people on both sides who have some fairly harsh things to say, but then there were people that were kind of caught in the middle. You know what I mean? That were like, man, I wish it was still around, that kind of thing. So thank you for sharing that so honestly. But from the ashes, like a phoenix, one will rise, and out of the ashes, appropriately named Journey Pro KC has risen. They've now done 2 shows, and each one of those shows has built on the one before it. And this last one on Thursday, Nick, was an absolute blast. Now, you didn't do a front flip outside the ring this time, which I know some fans were disappointed by. I know some fans were disappointed. But you know what? I personally was happy that you didn't, because I want you to stay healthy and continue to work for a very long time. Dude, once the doors closed and it was time to move on, walk us through, if you can, how you came on board with Journey and how things are looking towards the future when you think about the rest of 2019, bro.
So heading into 2019, there was talks of another promotion starting, and the forces that be that wanted to run Journey Pro reached out to me. Hey, you want to work for us? I'm like, yeah, of course. Why not? It's in my backyard, and if we can get more wrestling in Kansas City in that area, why not? So it didn't take much convincing, to be honest. It was just, hey, you want to work for us? I'm like, yeah, of course. Because why would I turn that down? Like, no, I'm gonna be there, of course. So, and all I can say is I'm hoping that everything is going to go according to plan. What their plans are. They're all evil geniuses one way or another. But I can definitely see Journey Pro turning into something special. And if last Thursday's show is an indicator of that, I don't know what is, because I will say that was a fun show, and we had a turnout. It was a full house, and for a Thursday, that's pretty hard to do. So I'm glad to see that we got something special at Journey Pro, and I can't wait to see what it turns into. And I got to go back and watch the first show too, and I really enjoyed what they did as far as producing that show and everything. So I can't wait to go back and watch this show whenever they get it on independent TV.
No doubt about it. And I think it's called, was it IndieWrestling.com? We'll figure that out.
I believe so.
Yeah, let's do some research and make sure we get that information out to everybody properly. But listen, you're being a little modest, Nick. I got to be honest here. You said it could turn into something big. Listen, I'm going to flat out say it. Everybody who listens to the show knows the way that I am, okay? Journey Pro is what the wrestling fan, who is a true blue wrestling fan, has been waiting for, okay? So a lot of people are like, well, it's 18 and over. Yes. Well, like they run on Thursday nights. Yes. And my response to those people is, why not? You see, guys, part of the reason that there are successes in business is because people like to do things a little bit differently. And at Journey Pro Wrestling, I can tell you something. They're getting in people, and they're getting acknowledgement from people this early on that they've already had in Matt Cross, okay, formerly of Lucha Underground. You guys know him from really traveling the world as one of the top aerial competitors pretty much ever in pro wrestling. And then the second show, no, there's not a downgrade. There's actually almost even an upgrade in Shotzi Blackheart coming in and doing the show. And here's what makes it so special. They don't revolve their whole show around that one name. They've got the wrestlers that you want to see, that you love, and that you care about working at every single show, sprinkled in with some new talent. And you can actually lose your nuts at these venues. So if you've always dreamed of going to St. Louis Anarchy, you dreamed of going to Ring of Honor show, you want to go to AEW, you want to go to AAW, listen, all you got to do is drive down the street to Overland Park, because those shows are already happening. They're already happening, and Nick is right in the middle of it. Nick, am I off base on any of this stuff that I'm saying? Because I've been there, bro, and that's what I'm seeing.
No, you're not wrong. I agree with you. I like to keep having more shows to keep proving our worth. I want to see us climbing up the ladder higher and higher. I don't want to settle for mediocre. So I want to always strive where I work. So it's like Journey Pro's only had 2 shows. Let's keep going and see how higher and higher we can get. And I promise you, if you stick around long enough, you're going to see some unique things that you don't see in Kansas or Overland Park or in that jurisdiction. I assure you, things are going to be very interesting coming up.
Well, dude, there's no doubt about it, man, and I'm looking forward to, and I'm super excited about what you guys are going to bring to the table. Listen, well, I got one last question, and then we're going to move into tonight's edition of the Shoot and Shout segment, where we get a few seconds to kind of spout off about anything that may be bothering us. It's usually a lot of fun, and it can be wrestling related or not. But I do have one last question for you, Nick. So, and this may be a little bit of a tough one, so do your best. So in my time as a journalist, whatever you want to call me, covering professional wrestling here in Kansas City, I've seen a trend, and sometimes it's a positive trend, sometimes it's a negative trend. But the trend has been that mostly through social media, sometimes you'll have some of the talent in the area be kind of harsh and maybe a little bit mean to other wrestlers and fans. And to a certain extent, and I've heard this from people standing outside in line, outside of shows and through social media, that there's a very inclusionist type environment that has been felt at times here in Kansas City. And that was part of the reason why we had some of the people that were a little disgruntled early on during the NWL days, where they felt like their access to the talent that they were so used to being able to shake their hands and take pictures with at Metro was kind of cut off. And so now I think there's maybe not as bad as it was before, but there's a perception that like maybe some of the talent that you work with aren't as open to embracing the fans as maybe the fans would like to be embraced. So what have you seen in relation to social media, the behavior of some of the talent in this area? And I include St. Louis and Iowa, kind of all in the same ball or in the same house here a little bit. Do you think that there's a bridge that still needs to be built between the talent and the professional wrestling community in the Midwest, or do you think it's kind of already as good as it can get?
Personally, for me and for my time working with all different walks in life of talent, working with, up and coming guys to seasoned vets, I think you need to have a bit of a barrier per se. Like, there's a reason why I don't have, I like to keep my life personal at times. But for me, it's like, I think you have to have a fair balance between wrestler and fan. I think there still needs to be, we can have a good time and we can, hang out and take pictures and, shake hands, kiss babies. But I think there's a point too where, guys want to be in their own circle sometimes. So I think there needs to be a fair balance between the two. There's a difference between being a fan and being a creepy guy that's hanging out in the parking lot trying to, get an autograph by your car because you figured out what kind of car you drove, or, I feel real bad for like female wrestlers.
Right.
Because I will tell you personally, when I was on the Chris Jericho cruise, pro wrestling fans can be the greatest people in the world, but they can also be the worst people in the world. And I agree. I have a story to tell to simplify this. So I was going to tell it earlier, but I can tell it now. So while I was on the Jericho cruise, everybody made a flyer for Roman Reigns to get well soon. You know what I mean? It was really cool. Everybody signed it, get well soon, Roman. It was just right after he announced his leukemia situation. And then a couple days later, I'm sitting in a wrestling video, and everybody's booing everybody that's about to win.
Bunch of assholes.
It was just like one of those things. Oh, yeah. Like, no, trust me, having about 2,000 wrestling fans on a boat, like I said, you can get to see the best and worst. Like, I felt bad for any wrestler that was trying to get food on the boat, because I see, like, James Ellsworth walking by getting food, and you have, like, that one fan that's just, like, you ever seen Jaws?
Yeah.
Imagine the little girl floating above. That's James, and you see the Jaws just and then just snatching James. I'm like, oh, poor dude's just trying to get food. He's alone, you know. So you know what I mean? I think there's a healthy balance, but I think wrestlers either A, let it happen, or they get, like, you know, back to F off. You know, like people don't handle situations right, and fans also are guilty of it too. So I think realistically, in a perfect world, there'd be a balance between, you know, professionalism and personalism. You know, kind of find the middle ground there, and all. And like for me, it's like I don't mind saying hi to people, but I also, hey, I gotta go do something. You know, I gotta go. I'm sorry. Bye. You know, try to be as cordial as humanly possible. Don't be a jerk.
Well, you know what, Nick? I don't think I could have got a better answer for that question. There's definitely got to be a balance on both sides. The wrestlers have to do their job, come in and entertain. They're there to sign your autographs and take a picture. But otherwise, try to leave these guys alone. They're trying to live regular lives. Most of them have regular jobs, and they don't need you stalking them and reading their license plate number and you know, up in their DMs all the time like some freaking weirdo. So, well said, Nick Chinn. I appreciate that. Well, Jonesy, you know what, man? I'm looking at the clock, bro, and we do have time for tonight's edition of the Shoot and Shout segment. Why don't you have intern Timmy hit the music, man, and we can get a little therapeutic with my man, Nick Chinn.
All right.
It's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up. Everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you want to justify. If someone's head off, you don't keep in contact. And if you interact, you're like a whole contract.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for the shoot and shout segment. Who's going first, Night Owl?
Hey, you know what, Jonesy? I'm not scared, bro. I'll go ahead and go first, man. Let's go ahead and do the dang thing, baby. On tonight's edition of the Shoot and Shout segment, I got to tell you something, man. I'm really upset with people that need glasses but refuse to wear them. Let me give you an example. So I'm out here going to a couple of different, I'm going to a couple of different banks in the state of Missouri because I'm trying to put together a proposal for my job, right? And we're in the janitorial and maintenance business, right? So I'm trying to put together a proposal, and every single bank in Missouri I walk into, I get the same dirty look. You know why that is, guys? Because I wear a hat that looks strikingly similar to a Oakland Raiders ball cap, okay? And guess what? It is not an Oakland Raiders ball cap. It is actually a Florida Panthers black and white ball cap that clearly has a panther and the word Florida across the top along with the state flag, okay? We all know that the Raiders, it's a pirate with the patch. It's ugly. It's nasty. I probably wouldn't even use it as toilet paper. So when people see me and they see the black and white, immediately they assume I'm a Raider fan. And the fact that I'm Mexican makes me even more guilty. And I'm sick of it, because if these people got their damn prescriptions checked, you guys know you're paying on insurance every single year. You got your little money that you put to the side for glasses and things like that. We all know about it, right? We all got Blue Cross Blue Shield or Aetna or whatever. Get your damn eyes checked. I'm sick and tired of being accused of being a Raiders fan. Guess what? I am a Chiefs fan through and blue. I go back all the way to the early 90s. I can answer any question about Damien Heward or Brody Coyle or damn Eddie Kennison or anybody else, damn it. So next time somebody looks at me crazy because they can't get their damn eyes checked and they think this is a Raider hat, I'm going to have to slap one of these bank tellers, bro. I'm sick and tired of it, man. I'm tired of it. That's my shoot and shout tonight, man. Jonesy, what do you got?
I would have to say that my shoot and shout tonight is fans of the WWE that do not see the bigger picture of what is going on with Kofi Kingston. They don't seem to understand that the whole reason that Kofi Kingston was pulled out of his match was so that he could have a championship match at WrestleMania. They're trying to do what they did with Daniel Bryan. And you get everybody that's threatening to quit watching the WWE. I even saw a petition on Facebook for them to put Kofi Kingston back into the match.
Go! Nick Chinn, I know you got some fire in your belly, baby. Let's hear it.
Oh, brother, here we go. One of my personal pet peeves, or what grinds my gears, or my shout out for the night, has to be whenever I'm at the store and I'm trying to find a parking spot. And I bet you, I don't know if you see this much in your neck of the woods, but where I'm from, if you have a big old truck, for some reason you think you're entitled to 3 parking spots instead of 1. And it just boggles my mind. I'm like, because you have a big old truck does not mean you're special. You are not entitled to multiple parking spots because you got your driver's license out of a cereal box. Does not entitle you to take 2 to 3 spots when I'm just trying to park and go get a gallon of milk or something. Like, come on. Park like everybody else. You ain't special because you have a lift and you have 28-inch rims and you're trying to compensate for something. Not my personal business, but for real, park like everybody else. It's not hard. Hell, my name is Chinn, and you think I'm Asian, but I can definitely park.
Wow! Shots fired! Shots fired! Damn, Nick. I think you really needed that shoot and shout, bro. You slid right into that like a natural, bro. I got to give you props for that.
Well, working out of jail, you kind of have to learn how to bite your tongue at sometimes or another. That's a whole nother podcast.
No doubt.
But
fucking bullshit.
Oh man, the guys with the big trucks, I tell you what. Nick Chinn, last thing, baby. Social media, man. How do people follow you on social, and where will you be working next, my friend?
let's see. Follow me on Twitter at ChinnRep_ between Chinn and Rep. I will be at upcoming. I got 3XW coming up next week in Des Moines, Iowa. I've got Anarchy coming up next month with Gary J versus Nick Gage. That is going to be brutal. I will probably be, obviously, I'll be at the next Journey Pro show, which is going to be later on in March. I forgot the date. I'm a horrible person.
The 30th.
But I have other opportunities coming. 30th, yes. Sorry. I work there. I don't even remember what the next show is. Excuse me.
You suck, my friend.
I have other opportunities.
No, sorry.
Sorry.
The 28th. Wait. So my bad. I suck too. It's the 28th. My bad. Thursday the 28th, folks.
Nah, you're good, brother. I got some other opportunities coming up, but I kind of want to keep those hush-hush until I get confirmation. But I'm trying to get out there and elsewhere too, so I'm not trying to stay in one area. I'm trying to expand or flip over as I do sometimes, which I don't know. I'm going to have to figure a way up the top of that one if I ever do another ref dive. So I'll have to figure out what other creative things I can do. But I assure you, you'll probably, that's not the last you'll see of it. Because I'm sure, like they say, lightning will strike twice. It's bound to happen again at some point.
Hey, listen,
I'm sure you'll be there to see it.
all I can say, Jonesy, when I saw Nick Chinn front flip and nail the besties in the world and the Left Coast Gorillas, basically, bro, this is what it was.
Do whatever the hell you want. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on, bro. I was so fired up. I felt like Mills Lane standing between two heavyweights getting ready to knock their socks off, bro. I was losing my mind. Nick, dude, thank you so much for risking your neck to entertain the fans. Thank you so much for being such an incredible contributor to wrestling in the Midwest. We hope you're able to accomplish all your dreams, bro. And you know what? Do us a favor and give our boy AK a huge shout out, because I know he's working with you at Journey, and you know we love him to death too. So, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Chinn, we officially welcome you as the newest member of the Wrestle Talk family, sir. Thank you for coming in and crushing it.
Thank you.
All right, brother, you have a good night. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace.
There he goes. Jonesy, take us to break, baby.
All right, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Hopefully this song does not get us flagged. We do not own the rights to this song.
We don't.
I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with the things you do. I'm in love with the way you move. I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with the shape of you. I'm in love with the things you do. I'm in love with the way you move. I'm in love with the shape of you. Look at me trying to set this shit. Mercury Stomp Down Killers. That Sharon remix. Let's go. I said, hold up for a minute. I said, hold up for a minute. Hold up for a minute. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, fuck it, I'm going in. I never said I'm the nicest guy in the world, but I'd rather die for my girl. I'ma buy her diamonds and pearls. And that don't mean that she's materialistic. I know she fell in love with me because I'm a lyrical mystery. Steering the whip in the sunshine and cheering and singing and saying, I'm in love with the shape of you. But it's not just that, though. It's also the way you move. I'm thinking we should get a drink, roll up down by the water. This ain't your average girl, now it's somebody's daughter. I overheard you complain about them guys you met and how they fuck up every time and claim they tried their best. That's until they realize and try to cry through text. If I seen them in person, I put those guys in check. I know no one is perfect, I don't think I'm the best, but am I someone you can call up and rely on? Yes. But I got a little problem, I was hoping you can help. It's 10:30 right now, I got a show to do at 12, and I need some company or I'll be gone by my...
Hey, wrestling fans, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat talking at you, and you're listening to the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back. That is a version of the song "Shape of You." I actually kind of liked it. It was pretty freaking sweet, I must say. It was definitely a good break song. Now it is time for the FWWC segment. Before we get our last call, our last guest of the night, Primetime Amy Lee. If you want to know what the fantasy wrestling FWWC is, it's fantasy wrestling. It's kind of like they got fantasy baseball, football, for everything, but now we have fantasy wrestling. We have characters, we cut promos, we do picks, you can win championships. It's all kinds of fun, ladies and gentlemen. I definitely, if you're interested in it, all you got to do is go to the WrestleTalkPodcast.com and click on the FWWC tab, and it'll give you everything that you need to sign up to the FWWC. With that being said, Night Owl, you with me, sir?
I am with you, bro. That might be the best FWWC plug you've ever done. Like, that was good, bro. It's almost like you like the group or something.
Absolutely.
My man.
I am passionate of the FWWC. Without any further ado, let's go and get the first call in. And we have a man that's been on the line for quite some time. And he calls in just about every single week. And that is Bishop. What's going on, sir? How are you?
Greetings, my brothers. How are you this evening?
We are doing good. We are doing very, very, very well, Bishop. Very well. So what's been new with the Bishop?
Oh, well, let's see. I have a golden opportunity coming up pretty soon. And Brother Jonesy, I believe you know about that as well. Would you like to go into it?
I do. Have you decided if you are going to do the right thing and lay down so you don't feel any pain? Have you decided that that's what you're going to do yet?
Well, Brother Jonesy, I don't know if you remember, a while back I cut a promo where I said that Bishop's not about
I don't pay attention to your promo, sir.
You don't? Okay.
See, wait a minute. Bishop, here's kind of what I got to tell you. Like, I respect your approach, and you know I've been a fan for a while. But whenever we get to this part of the show, you continue to be respectful and mild-mannered. Here's the thing. Nightmare Jones, he's not going to respond to that. So I know, just like Jesus coming into the courtyard and flipping tables, I think at some point the Bishop is going to have to do the same thing because your subtle nature has not paid off. I mean, you lost to Nightmare Jones, and he's just going to continue to make fun of you and not take you seriously. So at some point, I think you need to kind of take it to another level of intensity. And I don't know, it is Universe Mania season. Are we going to see another level of the Bishop? Because as far as I understand, you are still in the pursuit of the Universal Championship, and to this point, you've not been given an opportunity. So something needs to change from my perspective because I love and care about you very much. But Nightmare Jones is a legend, not because he calls himself a legend, but because he has done what legends do. So again, I pose the same question that I asked you the very first night that you signed the contract in the FWWC, and it's all pretty simple. What you gonna do, brother? What you gonna do when Universe Mania is in your face and you've got to go in and do it for the millions and millions of Bishop maniacs? The Bishop Devontae D has got to show us that he's worthy of being the top champ on the red brand. When are we going to see it, Bishop?
Oh, you're going to see it soon, and very soon. And believe me, I know that Nightmare Jones is a legend. I've heard all of the terrible and diabolical things he's done to individuals in that ring. And so let me say this to you, Nightmare Jones. How about you and I mix it up again this Monday night?
Sure, if that's what you want to, if that's what you want, if you want more pain, sir, I have no problem doing that. The same thing would happen Tuesday. Is there anything else that you want the FWWC to know before we let you go, sir?
Yes. One more thing about this Monday night. See, you think that the bishop is all calm and whatnot, and he is to a certain extent, but trust me, at some point, I'm reaching my boiling point, and it's about time for Bishop to go ballistic. So, Brother Jonesy, this Monday night, what do you say we mix it up in a hardcore match?
Woo! Yeah, buddy.
Boy, that is my forte. I look forward to that, sir. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Bishop. I look forward to Monday night. This is like Christmas.
Dude, I'm telling you what, you guys are going to have a hardcore match, and I'm ready for it, bro. I mean, I am ready for it. I know you guys are going to go ahead and tear it down. And, man, you know,
yes, sir.
Bishop looks like he's ready to do big things at Universe Mania 5. Who's our next caller tonight, guys?
Oh, the next caller is the Warrior Rick Price. Hello, Rick. How are you, sir?
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
How are you?
No!
How are you, Rick?
Oh, my goodness. Jonesy, stop playing with the soundboard. We have the Warrior Rick Price, one of the few La Familia members that has his head on straight, and you want to disrespect him by playing that nonsense? I mean, come on, grow up a little bit, would you?
Rick, are you with us? Rick Price, going once. Richard Price. All right, well, I'm trying to get back to Richard. I know him as Richard Priest. That is who I know him as, not this Warrior Rick Price.
You know what, Jonesy?
I know him as Richard Priest.
How do you expect a man of class and dignity like Rick Price to come on and want to talk to us on the show, dude? You're a total jerk. The moment he comes on, you play the stupid no thing. And you know what? Let me Rick, if you're still there, I know you're upset. I know you guys have had a lot of like in La Familia turmoil lately. Let's see if I can get him. Can you just stay quiet, Nightmare? I mean, seriously, you're making it hard for the callers to want to call back in. Rick, are you there?
It's Nightmare Jones. It's pronounced Rick Price.
Thank you, Rick, so much.
I said Rick Price, Dick Price, whatever it is.
Oh my goodness!
Look, Jones,
come on.
We get it. You're upset and jealous because you and Marcus want to be so far up Mata's ass these days. Unfortunately, the only way for you to get Mata's ass is to stand on top of a 6-foot ladder.
Oh, he's got jokes. So let me ask you a question, sir. After everything that Amata has done for you, why would you want to turn to the Night Owl who's done nothing but say bad things about La Familia? Your brother.
I never said I turned to La Familia or turned to Night Owl. I just said Mata tried to take food off.
Did you just cut him off?
Thank you, Rick. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It has been amazing for you.
No. Joe.
Absolutely Amazing. Thank you.
Joe,
And who's our next caller, man?
no, wait a minute. We are going to give equal airtime to every caller, okay? Okay, so
You're killing me with this guy.
no, wait a minute. We're gonna let Rick Price come back on and make his final statement. And if you got any semblance of being a man, you will at least listen to what this dude has to say, because you might learn something. Rick, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you back on, despite Joe over here losing his damn mind every time the FWWC segment starts. Man, I'm getting sick and tired of it. Joe, shut your mouth. Nobody wants to hear from Nightmare Jones right now. We want to hear from the Warrior, Richard. No. Sorry. From the Warrior, Rick Price. I'm still getting used to that, Rick. I apologize.
That's all right, Nat. I don't know how you can put up with Jones sometimes, because he's about as intelligent as he is handsome. So
Wow.
actually, I called in tonight because of a man by the name of Madman Joe, who thinks he can refuse me challenging him for his European title.
Well, what are you going to do about it, Rick?
So, I'm hoping that the new general manager over here on the Blue brand, Curtis Black, is smarter than any other general manager I've had to deal with, and actually takes care of this and fixes this problem.
Well,
Because if you're a champion, you got to be a fighting champion. I was always a fighting champion every time I had a title.
and you know what? I've got to agree. I've not seen Madman Joe defend the European Championship. I'm going to go ahead and do you a solid here. I'm gonna send a message to Curtis Black right now, called out by Rick Price on the pod tonight. All right, well, there it is. Let's see if he responds. I'm curious. Well, listen, Rick Price, thank you for being the voice of reason in La Familia worldwide for once. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be facing El Mata at Universe Mania 5. Honestly, I'm a little intimidated, but for the sake of the FWC, man, I'll even put my own life on the line, bro. So hopefully things work out and we can continue to operate business as normal and not be under the authority of a tyrant. So I don't know how you feel about the whole thing, but honestly, I'm sick of it.
The way I feel about Mata is the way I felt when we were a tag team. He's a lot of dead weight that I had to carry.
Wow.
Man, thank you, Rick Price. Thank you, Rick.
Got him.
For calling in, sir.
Got him.
You are amazing. Until next time, let's go ahead and continue. We got one more caller, and then shortly after that, we're gonna have Tom Amy Lee coming on. We got the man from the jungle, the Battle Cat. What's going on, Battle Cat?
Hey, Night Owl, did you get our invitation, man? Look, let me just say this, okay? First off, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Battle Cat. What's on your mind tonight?
Unfortunately.
Hey, Jones, stand down. I mean, I shouldn't have to tell you that because you're short enough already, all right?
Wow. Damn.
Can you hurry up and get you off of here? Can you hurry up and get you off of here?
Well, if you stop interrupting the man, Jones. Stop interrupting. Let the man say what he's got to say.
So little, you talk so loud. You know that, right? Okay, anyway, I'm not going to go there. All right. Now, Night Owl, I know that you have this big match coming up at Universe Mania 5, right?
Yes, sir. I've been preparing.
Me and Chinn, we sent for you because we want to help train you for that fight. You know. Now, I know humans can be, I don't even know what word to describe humans as right now, but it's not a good one. But you see, you're not like them. You're different. We like you. We actually like you. Which is why we're trying to help. We're extending the offer. All you have to do is come down and train with us. That's all we want. We're trying to help you, man.
Well, you know what, Battle Cat?
All the training that you can get.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I don't want to necessarily ruin it for anybody, but I do have a little bit of breaking news. The Night Owl has been training strenuously. I will admit, and you guys heard me say it on the FWC, I was severely overweight. I reached 305 pounds, which is the heaviest that I'd ever been. I'm actually down to 296 now, all on my own, and I wanted to be able to do that to prove to myself that I didn't need any help, at least to get started. But now that I've gotten started, I am ready to make my way down to the jungle and train under the most severe and difficult circumstances. I mean, if you're a tiger in the jungle or a tank out in the battlefield, you've got to be prepared for the most harsh and difficult situations. And that's exactly why the battle tanks are both champions. Okay? So Battle Cat, consider your offer accepted. Sometime next week, I expect to be able to fly down to Jacksonville, step into the jungle, and get some work done, because I am serious about beating El Mataratas Nightmare at Universe Mania 5 for the control of the FWWC.
Oh yeah, the word I was.
And Battle Cat has dropped. Oh, such a shame.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. You did it again. You're doing it again. See, that's why nobody can stand La Familia. Jonesy.
I had nothing to do with that.
Oh, shut your mouth.
That was with.
You're a liar.
With all the Battle Cat's phone.
No, don't do that.
Enough is enough, man.
Cat's phone couldn't take his breath anymore.
Oh, shut your mouth.
Cat's phone couldn't take his breath anymore.
Oh, my goodness. You're such a liar. I can't believe any of this crap.
Fucking bullshit.
You know what?
Me.
No, wait a minute. This is garbage. This, you know what? Next week, I'm going to make sure that you have a limited ability to affect this show, Nightmare Jones, because you know what? El Mata has never once showed up here and shown his face on the Wrestle Talk podcast. He always hides behind the veil, calls into the FWWC Tonight podcast on Thursday nights, WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Check it out. He always calls there. He never finds a way to make his way onto the Wrestle Talk podcast, because personally, I think he's a coward, and I think you're a coward, because you never want to let people finish what they have to say. You want to cut them off, interrupt, play annoying freaking drops in the background. You know, it's just.
You seem to have something wrong with the Night Owl's phone. I don't know. Night Owl, are you still with us?
Hello? Why is my button? Hello? Okay, am I back? You know what? I think this is a great time to end this segment. You and I are going to have a serious conversation after the show, Nightmare, because whenever the FWWC comes around, you lose your damn mind, I lose my host, and it's a freaking free-for-all every single damn time. You're worse than that Marcus Mayhem character.
I know. Oh, my goodness. We are minutes away from Prime Time Amy Lee. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be an insane interview. She does not hold any punches. Let me tell you. She does not hold any punches whatsoever. You remember the last time Amy Lee came on the Night Owl? You remember it?
Well, I do remember it, and I remember going about 15, 20 minutes late on that interview because Amy Lee was just keeping it so damn real, bro. I mean, when you think back to the ladies that made pro wrestling kind of what it is today, and I know that we're on the heels of Fighting With My Family with Paige, there are women that are cut from that cloth, man. They're just authentic, they're real, they're hard-hitting, they don't pull any punches, and I think Amy Lee is one of those people in our generation, one of those wrestlers that can pretty much work any promotion in the world, but she's chosen to stay up in the upper Northeast, and she's had a tremendous over her career, bro, and she's still doing it, man. She was on the show last time. She absolutely killed it, and I cannot wait to have her on, Joe. But I'll tell you what, bro, as we wait for Amy to go ahead and call into the show, We brought up a subject a little bit earlier concerning the Honky Tonk Man going into the Hall of Fame. We had a bunch of people on hold waiting to talk about it, but unfortunately we got kind of caught up in some of the interviews or whatever. I didn't even get your thoughts. I know we laughed about it. We both thought it was hilarious, but bro, is the Honky Tonk Man a freaking hypocrite now? Years after doing that interview, he's taking the paycheck, he's taking the first class flight, he's taking the dinner and the $35 plaque that he crapped all over, and he's doing it and pretending like he never said what he said. What are your thoughts on that situation, Joe?
You know, it's definitely kind of funny, but the Honky Tonk Man is definitely a guy that has never pulled any punches, and so you know, he said that at that time he wouldn't have gone, but maybe things have changed. Maybe he's had a change of heart. Maybe he realized that, you know, that going into the Hall of Fame isn't such a bad thing. I mean, shoot, he gets to have a great dinner. He gets to go to WrestleMania, you know, backstage at WrestleMania, and it's going to be I think that it's going to be a good time as long as he doesn't talk forever. It seems like there's always one person that talks forever. Mr. T talks about his mom. That talked for like 30 minutes on the way home from Dynamo Flow. Who was that?
John Curt, that wouldn't shut the hell up. That's who it was. Shut up, John Curt. We're sick of your mouth and your breath. Freaking John Curt. That dude, bro. Hey, you know what, Jonesy? As much as I would love to continue to talk to you about the Honky Tonk Man, about, you know, Roman Reigns' return or Kofi getting screwed, we've actually reached the time where we're going to bring on our second featured guest of the evening. You guys have heard us kind of lose our minds a little bit about this individual because last time she was on the show, she absolutely killed it. You know, we don't have to tell you guys that she's been in, you know, Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 50 female rankings. We don't have to tell you, you know, that she's been wrestling for the better part of 20 years, that she's worked with some of the best men and women in the world of professional wrestling. All we got to tell you as we cue up the music is that we want you to welcome back an existing member of the Wrestle Talk family. Ladies and gentlemen, my amiga, the chica that you got to respect, prime time, Amy Lee, baby.
Amy Lee, what's going on? How you doing?
What's up, guys? I turned around, looked at the thing, and I went, oh, shit, I was supposed to call 11 minutes ago. I was like, you freaking blonde.
It's all good. It is all good. So how in the hell have you been, Amy?
Kicking ass, not giving a shit about names.
That's right. That's pretty much your moniker. You kick ass and don't give a shit about names.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would have to say that one of the things that I saw recently is Jim the Anvil Neidhart passed away, and it seemed like that he was a good friend of yours. Can you tell us about your experiences with Jim the Anvil?
I met Jim, I'm going to say, back in the 90s. And back then at the time, WWF would let people work indie shows or make appearances at indie shows or, you know, guest appearances, autograph signings and all before they got really, really strict.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. At one time, like in the 80s, they didn't really let them, like in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, they would let them work other shows and see shows, or somebody would sponsor a WWF match or whatever like that. And then when Hogan came around, they became very, very strict with that and didn't allow that anymore. And then come the 90s, they were starting to, because 90s you recall, was kind of like, it was the wars and, you know, the Monday Night Wars, and there was all kinds of, you know, pissing contests with the NWA, WCW, and WWF, and, you know, the whole 9 yards. So I have met Jim actually, ECW was around. I was up from Tennessee Wrestling. I was home visiting, and I stopped by ECW to see Axel Rotten and Balls Mahoney, because they're very good friends of mine. Actually, Balls broke into business, I'm going to say, a year after, like a year after I did. And so, you know, he came from the Monster Factory and all, and I knew Axel for many years, you know, when we were fans. So I went to go hang out with them and catch up, grab ass bullshit and stuff like that, and talk to him about doing some bookings up here and them doing some bookings down there, blah, blah, blah. And Jim was there. And then at the time, I was a huge Dan Marino fan and stuff, so he had a Miami Dolphins shack and all. So I was like, hey, great fucking quarterback. I said, with the tightest ass in the business. And he like looked at me like, what the
wow.
fuck? So I said, he just looked at me like, what the fuck did this girl just say? I go, Dan Marino, greatest quarterback with the greatest tight ass in the NFL. He just looked at me. He was like, and he just turned his head like a dog would. And he just looked at me like, what the fuck? So he's like, well, I got to go upstairs and talk to Paul Heyman, and then I'll come down. I said, well, I'm going to go do a shot of Jack. So you want to go talk to Heyman, I said, or why don't you do this? Why don't you prepare to talk to Heyman, do a couple shots of Jack for me, then go upstairs and talk to Heyman. So he was like, that's a good point. So he came over, and I introduced myself, and we were talking business and all, and he's like, you know, who trained you? And I said, Dick Murdoch. And he went, and I love how Jim would exaggerate things when he would speak. Like if he got excited, he went, oh, Dick Murdoch. And I was like, yeah. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? You got like a schoolboy crush or something? I swore he came when he said the name, you know. And I was like, yeah, that's who trained me and all. And we were talking about Blackjack Mulligan, what a strong son of a bitch he was and all. And I said, well, you know, you got some ham hocks for arms and all. You're not like one of them fucking lamb chops. I was like, motherfucker, you're like a T-bone steak, you know. And he just started laughing, and we just started talking about wrestling and just, you know, powerlifting he was talking about and stuff like that. And he was like, I like talking to you. He goes, you're not like a typical girl. He goes, where girls are like, oh, this and that. And I said, yeah. I said, you know, like most of my friends are guys and all. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, well, why is that? I go, well, think about this. I said, when there's a room full of chicks and a dude walks in, they're all backstabbers because they all want to get that dude's attention. I said, when you're in a room full of dudes and another dude walks in, unless he's dropping to his knees and bowing down to the guy's flesh temple, they don't give a fuck about that dude. So you're yours. He just started laughing. Yo. And he was like, hey, that's a good scenario. So we just became friends, and I would see him on the scenes or, you know, different things in passing and stuff like that. And I would always pick his brain and all, because people didn't realize that, like, Jim was very smart, you know. He played like the quiet guy and, you know, always angry kind of guy. But if you got to know him, he really was a fucking marshmallow. He really was. He loved his girls. He loved his daughters with all his heart. And you know, I know when Owen passed away, he was never the same after that. He really wasn't. You know, that just like devastated him. And you know, that's just horrific what happened there. I mean, him and Brett, they never saw eye to eye on stuff. And also, you know, like everybody in pro wrestling, your career, you know, after, you know, quick you're in, quick you're out. I mean, Jim was around for many, many years and stuff like that. And he was always like the brawn of the two. And really, Brett wasn't that smart. He was really a country bumpkin. The guy that sharpened him up, believe it or not, to the business was the late Hall of Famer, great late Hall of Famer, Johnny Valiant. Johnny Valiant would travel with these kids, and that's what they would do back in the day. They would put these country bumpkins with these veterans who've been around to smarten them up to the business. So Johnny did that. Johnny always said, yeah, you really need to do that with Jim and stuff like that. You know, Jim was pretty sharp as it was, you know. Jim played possum a lot of times. But if Jim didn't like you, you fucking knew it, because he would be like, get the fuck away from me, I'll cave your fucking skull in. Like, if he didn't want to be bothered with you, he would tell you, leave me the fuck alone. And you left Jim alone. And what it was a lot of times fans would come up to him. As he got older, he got ornery, in the sense that a lot of people would come up to him and they'd be like, oh, you know, Brett's in the Hall of Fame, and, you know, you're not yet, you know, but isn't that great? And he'd be like, get the fuck out of my face. Like, I don't want to talk about Brett being in the Hall of Fame. I got a sore ass over this, you know? Like, you know, Brett had a tag team before he had singles, you know? Brett fucking forgot that and shit. As far as Jim was concerned, he sold out on him. Because Jim would sit here, you know, he would hang out with May and my husband and on. He would always vent about it. He'd be like, see, I could tell you because it's not family. Like, you know, he can't really bitch to Ellie or the girls because that's her brother and their uncle. So, you know, he would bitch to other people and stuff like that. And you always knew, listen, when some of your friends in wrestling are guys like Haku, the Barbarian, and the Warlord, you know you got to be a rough motherfucker on this earth, you know? And they were like his buds on the road and shit like that. I remember I remember being at an autograph signing with him, and New Jack was there. And New Jack was cool. I mean, I love Jack. Jack's the best. And, you know, and Jack saw him and came over and paid his respects to Jim and all, and they were talking and stuff like that. And you just saw Warlord and Barbarian walking, and Jim's like, they're like, Jim, my friend. And he goes, Warlord, Barbarian, my friends. And they're like, come sit with us. And Jim just was like, he said to the guy that brought him in to sign autographs, I'm going to go sit with my friends and sign autographs. And he just walked over there. And he was like, bring my shit over. And the guy, like, looked at him, and I, like, just do what he asked you. So then I was sitting there, and he goes, I want you guys to meet my best friend. He goes, my friend Amy Lee, you know, she always, like, helps me out and stuff like that. And they were like, any friend of Jim's a friend of mine. I'm saying to myself, thank fucking God. And I'll tell you why. I know I'm tough, but them motherfuckers, they made me feel real safe that day. You know, I was like, oh, these guys are intense, you know. But, yeah, he would get pretty intense with shit. Like, the thing he didn't like was people always acknowledged Brett and what Brett did, and they always forgot what he did. You know, the Hart Foundation wasn't one fucking guy. You know, there was more than one guy on that tag team. You know, and that was the thing that annoyed him. And then people were like, oh, well, Brett's in the Hall of Fame, you're not. So Jim had a joke with me when he would ever, like, send me a gift or something, or he would leave me a message. He'd go, here's one for you at my office one day. I get in the office at like 8:15 in the morning at the firm, and I see it, and I'm thinking, what pain in the ass the lawyer's asking me to do shit for him today? No, I get, Amy. Hi, Amy. Good morning, Amy. This is Jim the Evil Nighthawk, your friend with a red devilish beard. He goes, you know, I just want to let you know, I was thinking about you this morning. He's like, and I can't wait till I come up this weekend and we wrestle. And then we'll go to the casinos because I'm feeling lucky. Okay, well, you have a fantastic day. And I shall see you later on this week. Just call me on Friday night just to confirm everything. Do my best to Art. And, yeah, okay. Again, this is Jim the Anvil Nighthawk. You know, the non-Hall of Famer. Okay, bye-bye. And I'm like, listening to this, I must have played it like 10 times. I was like, what the fuck? But that's how he would leave his messages. He was very articulate when he would leave his messages and stuff like that. He didn't like to be called stupid. He didn't like to be disrespected. He didn't like people pulling at him or pawing at him. And see, with Jim, I never asked him for a photo. I never asked him to personal appearance or anything like that. What I did was I genuinely liked him as a human being because he was like me. It was like, dude, I just want to fucking wrestle. Give me my price and call it a day. We don't have to be fucking best friends. I don't want to fucking hang out with you and all. So I never had a problem with him. I would book him. I would get him booked on shows. I never took a cut. The money was his. Now, the deal I had with him was, what you made wrestling, we're going to Western Union to Ellie. So she has it. Whatever you make in gimmicks, you can play. You can gamble. You can piss away, whatever. But your main payday, that you were guaranteed money, goes home to the wife for the bill. And he never argued with me with that. And when he was up here, I would go to different wrestling schools and I would say, hey, come up here and you know, Jim's up here, why don't you do a seminar, why don't you let him teach class and all. And I would say to them, they're like, well, I can't afford $1,000. You know what I say to them? You got $100 in your pocket? They'd be like, yeah. I'm like, all right. So Jim would come up here to the South Jersey area, and I'd have him in North Jersey, I'd have him in New York, I'd have him in Maryland, I'd have him in Pennsylvania, I'd have him all over. Like, he would do a whole run for a good week and all. And then I would tell him, I was like, all right, well, and he would give me these seminars and all. So I was like, you know the deal. This is your guaranteed money. And at the end of his trip, before I take him to the airport, we will wire the rest of the money. Like, you make $100 here, $200 here, you know, whatever, $400 here. I would take all the money and I would send it to Ellie. And anything, like I said, he sold pictures, gimmicks, anything like that, or people are just like, here's some money to go have dinner, Jim, or what, you know what I mean? Like fans, marks. And I would just, that's your fuck off money. Go fuck off with it. Go piss it away. I don't care if you burn it and stuff. But no, I liked a lot of road trips with him because I learned a lot. And, you know, he would tell me about things with his shot put and football and his wrestling and working out with Stu and different things. Here's a funny story for you. I got Jim booked on a breast cancer wrestling show. It was an all-girl show, obviously, and it was in Levittown, and it was at the Steel Union Hall. And Jim was a special guest referee for the Battle Royal. Well, we figured we're going to bring Jim in because he's really not up in this area too much, in the sense that we could draw some people to come in. You know, we're raising money for breast cancer. So I said to him, I called him up. I go, Jim, I said, I got a referee gig for you. It's, you know, I said, it's your normal price and I'll fly you in and everything like that. I said, you'll stay down by me. I said, the thing is, you're going to guest referee. He goes, oh, I can wrestle. I go, Jim, you can't wrestle these people. He's like, what are they, fucking midgets? And I went, no, they're girls. It's an all-girl show. He's like, what? I'm the only guy? And I go, yeah. He started laughing. He goes, brilliant. And I was like, oh, my God. So I was like, you're cool with it? He goes, I'm cool with it. And he's like, now here you go. He goes, now you're going to pick me up at the airport, right? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, and I'm going to stay near you, right? And I go, yeah. He goes, oh, thank God. I don't want to stay anywhere away from you in case something happens. I'm thinking, you fucking came somebody's head in. What are you talking about? I was like, all right, whatever. You know, I'm like, all right. I was like, yeah, no problem. So I'm like, you're cool with this, right? And he's like, yeah. And I have to say, when I would call him, like Ellie would answer the phone sometimes, I'd wind up talking to her for an hour on the phone. She's just generally a sweet woman, but let me tell you something. If you cross her T's and dot her I's, she will fuck you up. Seriously. She's more intense than him. She can be. As sweet as she is as rough as she can be. Because Jim even said that. He goes, sometimes Ellie's so mean to me. And I look at him, I go, what'd you do? He goes, I didn't do nothing. And I'm like, okay, yeah. Listen, I know what you like just one weekend, so I can imagine 365. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we did this show up in Levittown. It's for Moose Moretti, who ran some indie shows and stuff like that. The Patriot was there, and Top Randy, like he just came to sell gimmicks and shit because he's just a money whore. But we had like all the girls and all. So I took one of my wrestling students. His name is Angel Pagan, and at the time, Santino Marino, his name. He was doing the girl gimmick. Oh no, I'm his beautiful sister, Santino. So I was like, I like that gimmick because it's really something from like the fucking back in the 60s and 70s and shit, Southern wrestling. So I said to Angel Pagan, I go, listen, I'm short a girl. She couldn't make it in. I said, you're wrestling a show, and he goes, I'm a dude. I go, no more. And he goes, what do you mean? I pull out one of my red bustiers. I pull out a mini skirt, and I go, you're wearing this shit to the ring. He looks at me, he goes, what the fuck? He goes, we got a problem. I got junk in my trunk. And I go, yo, dude, you know what? Put your bicycle shorts under, put your wrestling gear underneath. I said, and we'll put this shit on you. So his wife said, no problem. She puts the false eyelashes. His wife does gray hair and makeup. I'm serious. She made him look like a fucking shit. He covered his Adam's apple. You would have swore to God it was his twin fucking fraternal sister. I was like, holy shit. So she takes a picture of him and I backstage. Now, mind you, he's 6'3", okay? And at the time, he's 265 pounds. He draws a heart on his chest, and he writes the word art, which is my husband's name. So his wife, Mandy, takes a picture of him, and she says, Art, look at this big bitch backstage. And he looks and he goes, man, that is a big bitch. And she starts laughing, and she goes, Art, that's Angel. And he goes, wait a minute, let me put a glass of damn. I mean, he knows she did a great job with him, with the makeup and all. So Jim sees him, and all the guys that were there, you know, just supporting the show. And you know how workers come out to hang out at the shows and all. They're all making fun of Angel and all. And Jim goes, oh, why the fuck you're making fun of him? He'll get more fucking bookings as a broad than you ever will as a fucking dude. And they all looked at him because he's taking one for the team. So I looked at him, I go, it's okay, Jim. He goes, no, I don't like shit like that. He goes, fuck them fucking assholes. And I'm like, okay, Jim, we got to go cut a promo now. And I just get him out of the locker room. And everybody's like looking at me and stuff. And Rocco Murder's there and all. And he's like, oh, what's up with your boy? And I go, listen, I said, he don't like that kind of ball breaking, ribbon and all. I was like, you got to understand, if that, they do that shit all the time. He don't like that shit. I said, they didn't think it was right because Angel's trying to do something good by raising money for, women's breast cancer. So everybody was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Blah, blah. So, I'm like, I'm a fucking concierge here and make it peace, So we're all wrestling and everything like that. So Jim's like pulling people out and they're like, not yet with the thing. So then Angel his wrestling name was Angel Gonzalez. But this was Angel Gonzalez, his beautiful sister. That's how we did the Santino and Santina Marino thing. So whatever the fuck their name was. And then, so Jim's like pushing people back in, some of the girls, and they're like, no, I'm supposed to go out. And he goes, okay, and he step away and they fall on the ground. And I'm just like, son. And I'm like, this is great. So then they're trying to throw Angel out and they can't. And then the spot was they ripped the wig off and it proves that Angel's a guy, and they're all beating the shit out of him. Angel starts yelling, rape! Rape! And he yells to my husband, Artie, help me! Rape! Rape! Jim looks at him and goes, nobody wants to rape you, you're disgusting! And he just starts shooting a promo on him. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? You've been quiet all night. Like, what the fuck? But that's just how he was. He would just, he'd get in the moment. And if he felt like saying something, he just would say it. So he winds up beating the shit out of Angel and stuff and throws him at a thing. And then all the girls come in the ring and hug him. And he just stands there like, oh, this is so nice. I'm like, you're fucked up, dude. So we take him. I take him back to I take him to the Wawa. We stop at Wawa. And Manny Fernandez sends his girl up, Pink. And she wrestled a lot in Mexico and down in Texas. So, so Pink comes up and she's staying at my house. I was like, you're just going to stay at my house. Jim, you're not staying at my house because I see what you do to hotel rooms. You clog the toilets, you flood the bathrooms, and you grind food in the carpets, and I would stab you in 30 seconds or less, and we wouldn't be friends no more. And then we both would be upset. So Jim just looks at me, and he goes, looks at me and goes, you're just so bossy. I don't know how Art puts up with you. And I was like, what the fuck? So then we all go back to my house, and it's Angel and his wife, and we're laughing about Angel yelling rape and all that. So I ordered cheesesteaks for everybody because Jim's like, oh, I haven't had a cheesesteak in a while. Pink's never had one, so I ordered his cheesesteak. Let me tell you something. Jim walks into my house. Shoes come off. Socks come off. Then the shirt comes off. Then the shorts come off, and he's in his fucking boxers. And he's sitting next to Pink. But Pink's looking at this. Now, mind you, Jim's a lot heavier than what he used to be when he wrestled. Now, he was never a petite guy. He was always a big, thick guy. So she's fucking looking at this, and I go, you think that's hot and sexy, don't you? And she's just looking at me, and I go, don't disrespect your bitch. You know that's hot. And she goes, he's a great wrestler. That's all she kept saying was, he's a great wrestler. He's a great wrestler. He's eating his cheesesteak, and we're watching the UFC fights and all. So Art's like saying to him, hey, he goes, how about this hold and that hold? Because they would talk about holds and training at Stu's Dungeon, and it was a great learning thing for all of us. So Art goes, come here, I want to show you something. So he goes to grab Jim, and Jim goes, ooh, 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 watch, be gentle. Look at Art looks at him, the whole room. We all look at Jim like, what the fuck? And he's like, Amy. He goes, come here. And I go, what? He goes, give Art your arm. I go, why? He goes, here, rip her apart. You're married. You have a license to do this. And I was like, what the fuck is this about? He goes, Art's too rough for me. Art's like, Rob, you got fucking tree trunks for arms. What are you talking about? We're like, but that's just how he was. That's just how he was. He was very different. But I loved him. I loved him to death. I absolutely loved him to death. I mean, I would send him every year because at Christmas time and all, he likes to watch all the different bowl games. So I would send it I'd send him a little care package around Thanksgiving, and then I would send something, for New Year's Day, Christmas, New Year's Day with all the different football games and all. And he would call up the house and he'd go, Merry Christmas, Amy. Merry Christmas, Art. This is Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Your friend that's not in the Hall of Fame because he's like a prick. And I'm just like, okay. And he goes, I just want to thank you very much for the lovely cheeses and sausages that I can use when I watch the football game. He goes, anyway, I just wanted to thank you for the lovely cheese and sausages. Have a great day and be nice to Art, Amy. Bye. I wish I could save these fucking messages, they were fucking priceless. And I'm just looking at this, and I'm like, and as he's talking, I'm like, you're very welcome, Amy. You're very welcome, Jim. You're very welcome, Jim. Like, I'm never saying, but that's how he would leave a message. Thank you, Amy. I mean, he would make sure he was very articulate and stuff. And I think for him, what it was is because he was such a big, powerful guy and stuff, everybody thought, you know, the prejudice, oh, you're in sports, you're a dumb jock, or you're a wrestler, you know, all this shit. But he actually was very smart. He was very, very smart. He's very slick. He was a trip and a half. Like one time, we're driving back from a show in Delaware, and he says to Art, can you pull over? Can we get some orange juice? Art's like, yeah, sure. Next thing you know, a vodka bottle comes out, and he's pouring vodka in with the orange juice. And I'm like, we having a cocktail, Jim? Jim takes the bottle and throws it over the underpants. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's all we need on the news now. Man gets hit with a flying vodka bottle, you know, coming home from whatever. I was like, Jesus Christ. Or we go into the Wawa, and he's like, I'm going to use the restroom. And I'm like, okay. And he had a Snickers bar in his hand. So when he comes out, I look at him, I go, Jim, where was the Snickers bar? Where's the Snickers bar? And he would look at me and be like, no, what you're talking about. And he got fucking all chocolate in his beard and all. And I looked at him, I go, well, what's all that? He goes, and then he would go, I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you falsely accusing me of things? And he would act like you offended him. And then the motherfucker went in the bathroom and ate a fucking Snickers bar and then fucking paid for it. I was like, really? You know how to pay for it for you?
Oh my
and I was like, you know what? How do you even walk up to the cashier at Wawa and go, excuse me, see this big, powerful motherfucker that's like a little intense? Well, he ate a Snickers bar, and as you can see, it's not satisfying, but let me give you $2 for it anyway.
Pay.
Yeah, fuck that. I left. I was like, hey, they got you on camera, not me, motherfucker.
Oh my.
You're pissing and eating at the same time. But, yeah, that's just some of the things with Jim. He was just, I miss him a lot. I really do. It's like, I would come back from tours and stuff. I would call him up, and, you know, I would talk to him and stuff like that. And it's just, it's weird for me because it seems like a lot of my friends are gone, like him, Luna, Bam Bam Bigelow, Balls Mahoney, Axel Rotten, you know, Sir Oliver Humperdinck, Johnny Valiant. These were people that I would call and pick the brains over, you know, have a conversation with them. And when you wouldn't, like, I didn't see Balls Mahoney for 2 years, okay? We live in the same fucking state, maybe like 2.5 hours apart. But I never saw the motherfucker, but we knew everybody, all the same people. And when I saw him in Atlanta, Georgia, many moons ago for WEW when they were doing the women's pay-per-view and then they did the reunion of ECW down there, he was there. And him, me, Axel Rotten, Gary Wolf, and fucking New Jack hung out like we were inseparable. You would have thought that we were all attached at the hips because we were just so glad to see one another. And, you know, it's just that bond there with certain, you just never break. It's a bond you never break with somebody. You know, so, but that's my Jim story. That's my Jim story.
Well, Renee, why don't you go ahead and jump in here and ask whatever questions that you have, because I know you have all kinds of questions.
Well, I do, bro. and you know what? I'm just sitting here amazed because you asked one question and then Amy had like 4 stories. And it's crazy because, and no, here's the thing though. Like, Amy, we'll have guys like, Tracy Smothers come on, and it's like the same thing. Mm-hmm. You guys are so willing to overflow and pour out these stories.
I love Tracy Smothers.
Oh, he's the man.
I love that guy to death.
Listen, we asked him Amy, we asked him one question.
Man, I loved it when he was a redneck paisano. I thought that was funny.
Redneck, yeah, exactly. The full-blooded Italians. Oh my goodness, that's so crazy that you bring that up. It's like the coolest thing. So, my only question is, and I know it may be hard to kind of gather perspective on this, but you have been in this business enough time to know that we are kind of like in this amazing period where the girls are getting an equal or even better platform than the guys. For someone such as yourself that's been doing this as long as you have and like as passionately as you have, is there a certain sense of pride that comes along with saying, you know what, I was one of them, you know, BITCHs that knocked down some doors so that like Paige could have the #4 movie this past weekend in box offices, so that you know, women like Ronda and Becky and Charlotte can main event a WrestleMania. Like, you are a page in that story from my perspective. And I learned that the first time that we talked to you because you've done so much dope stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, like, how do you feel about that? I've got to know, because whether you realize it or not, you played a part in that. And it's freaking sick, yo.
Well, I think it's fabulous when you see second, third generation wrestlers on TV, whether it's male or female, especially a female, and they're good. They're not hired necessarily because of their looks. They're hired because of their talent. No offense, Charlotte Flair, she's tall, she's statuesque, her face is a little rough. She got daddy's look, no offense. No offense, but she is far better a wrestler than him. Far better. The way she carries her persona and her look. And when I see her with the robes with him, I think she does a far better job than him. And you know what? I'm sure if Rick heard me say this now, he would be like, thank you. You always want your child to be better.
I agree with you.
Same thing with Natty. When I see Natty walking into that ring and stuff, I don't see Brett. I see pieces of Jim in there. You know, and when she just pays, even to this day, when I see her videos with her and Jim, and when he started with the Alzheimer's, and then it just went crazy overnight, you know, aggressive, and you could just see how he was her hero in life, and people don't realize that, you know. Yes, she had Brett, and yes, she had her Uncle Owen and all her other uncles, but that's her dad. She was a daddy's girl. By far, she was a daddy's girl. So I like to see that. I honestly like to see it. Now, I'll be honest with you. Good for Paige on her movie. Honestly, I never knock people. The one thing that disappointed me with her, and this is what ruins moments where you take 10 leaps forward. It took you 30 years to get 10 leaps forward, and it takes one person to put you back 60 steps, and 60 leaps back. And what I mean by that is, Paige, great wrestler, always liked her. And then she does something stupid, does a fuck film. Then they fucking ejaculate on the women's belt. Now, most people are like, well, it's fake and all. But you know what? Think about this. Think about the history of the belt. Legitimate badass motherfuckers held that belt. Moolah held that belt. Leilani Kai held that belt. Wendy Richter. They were legitimate women wrestlers. They weren't sex objects. They weren't divas. They weren't models. They didn't have these flawless bodies. They wore the fucking panty girdles with the bathing suits and the porno lashes and the heavy makeup and all. But you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for every good you do, then you stupid fuck. You do something immature and reckless, and it sets us back. No offense. People rave about the Bella twins. I think they're cunts. I just don't fucking like them. And you know why I don't like them? Because they're the motherfuckers that I despise in the business, because you didn't get where you're at because of your talent. You got where you're at because of whose cock you were sucking. Come on, seriously. All of a sudden now we're taking a break from wrestling. We're going to go on to something else because me and John Cena broke up. Really? Come on. No, you know your fucking bread and butter there is fucking gone, Buttercup.
Oh, my goodness.
The other one, she marries Bryan Daniels. I got to say she had great taste in wrestlers because Bryan Daniels is a fucking phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah.
So she gets a little bit of a pass with that. You know, she
he is a badass.
I actually like her better than the other one. The other
I agree.
One, you're just a fucking wow.
Yeah.
I do. I'm just like, the other one, I'm just like,
nah.
You're just a twat waffle.
And you know what's crazy, Amy?
You know?
The WWE loves her. They love her. They love Nikki more than Brie because she's nastier and she's willing to put it more out there. I personally am more of a Brie Bella guy than a Nikki Bella guy. But listen, out of respect for time, we do want to transition with you into the final segment of tonight's show, and that's tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Are you game for a little bit of competition tonight?
Wait a minute, what's this again? Because you were breaking up.
Yeah, I know.
For what?
The connection's a little crappy, but I think we got it sorted out. It's tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. A little bit of trivia. Are you down for some competition?
I don't fucking know. I'll probably just sit there and be like, I don't know.
Same here. All right, well, I'll take that as a yes. Intern Timmy, hit the music, baby.
If you're asking me about WWE from the 2000s and now, you're fucked, because I'll just be like, I don't know.
Hey, listen, I don't even know what the questions are. They always screw me anyway. Intern Timmy, hit the music.
King show is that? What game show is that from?
Wait. I know the answer.
$1 Million Pyramid.
Yeah, the pyramid. That's right.
That's right, the pyramid.
Yep.
I knew it. That was one of them.
We old, bro. We old. We
Okay,
old.
here we go. Welcome to this week's installment of the world famous Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's contest is scheduled for the best 2 out of 3 falls. All contestants are the Night Owl Renee Martinez and Prime Time Amy Lee. In a few moments, I will ask you 3 questions about a particular professional wrestling topic. Whenever you think you know the answer to the question, just shout out your answer. The first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's Game Show Challenge. Tonight's Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge category is titled Famous Women's Professional Wrestling Champion. In a moment, I will give you clues about 3 female professional wrestlers who have held world championships. When you think you know who I'm talking about, just shout out your answers. And the first person to win 2 falls will win tonight's contest. Are you all ready? Primetime Emily, are you ready?
Oh, sure. Why the fuck not?
Let's do this.
Renee, are you ready?
Hey, listen, I'm ready to step into the prime time, baby.
Cool. Here we go.
Okay. This WWE Hall of Famer held the AWA Women's Championship on 1 occasion and the WWF Women's Championship.
Sherry
Known for
Martel?
one of the most... No, not Sherry Martel.
Medusa?
She's known for one of the most... What'd you say?
Medusa?
Medusa would be correct. She was known for one of the most historic moments in professional wrestling history when she dumped the WWF Championship in the trash.
Before we get started that trivia, stop talking. I'm talking. I'm the guest here. When she fucking threw that in there, did you see the thing on WWE? She goes, they summed up my career in 15 minutes. Well, you stupid fuckface fucker, when you throw a belt with history, you're another dumbass. 20 leagues forward, 60 back. You throw the fucking belt in the trash can. What do you think's going to happen, you dumbass?
Well, I don't think she regretted that check, though, Amy. I heard she got 15 grand for that.
15 grand, that's it? Seriously?
I mean, in 1992, 1993?
Listen to me. Vince McMahon paid her $90,000 tax bill to the IRS. If somebody paid my fucking tax bill and helped me get off the street from being homeless, I think the last fucking thing I would do is dump his fucking belt for 15 grand. When I know that motherfucker's willing to pay 90 grand to my IRS. Ugh, who's the fucking blonde now?
Boom. All right, let's go to question number 2.
Yeah.
Question number 2. In March 2000, this woman won her only WWF Women's Championship, defeating Jacqueline. She had the championship,
Sable.
losing it to Lita.
Sable.
That's not Sable.
Ivory.
Since winning it's not Ivory. Since winning the Women's Championship, this woman has been recognized as one of the most powerful women in cable. She is a chairperson of the Special Olympics of Connecticut, an Eisenhower Fellow, and Chief Brand Officer for the World.
Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon.
I already said it,
Man is correct.
I won,
Amy
fucker. You
Lee.
lose. That's
Amy Lee won. She has gotten 2. She did get in first.
No way! I'm being screwed here. All right, question number 3. I'm being cheated.
Listen,
Cheater!
As Temperature said. As Temperature once said.
Oh.
Cheat if you must, but always fucking win.
Oh, my goodness.
Here's number 3.
I'm not getting swept, I'll tell you that much.
This 2006 WWE Hall of Famer is a former AWA and WWF Women's Championship. After winning her championship, she went on to manage such professional
Sherry
wrestlers
Martel?
as the Sherry Martel is correct.
Fuck yeah.
Um,
Stop, Renee. Renee, you suck more than great.
This is rigged. The whole thing is rigged.
you're such a sissy owl. You want a chocolate bar? It's a fucking my
Yeah. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they say there, and they say there.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's more than Goulet.
I got my ass whooped by prime time Amy Lee, and you know what? I'm proud of losing to somebody. No, you're a badass.
Before we go, I just want to give like 2 quick shout outs. One to Matt Tremont because he started a hardcore, first ever all women's hardcore promotion, WH2O. It debuted a couple months back, and I wrestled Stockade in the only intergender match and fucked him up and sent him to the emergency room. And then on May 4th, the king of hardcore from New York, Low Life Louie, and I are going to go at it.
Wow, freaking Matt Tremont.
I'm going to fuck that bitch.
That is some yo, that's some gangster stuff right there. Let's get Matt on the show. Amy, if you can facilitate that, let's do that. Congratulations on your win.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your win. You already know, you got our contact information. Let's make it happen. Sister, one last thing. Where are you performing next? And drop your social media on us, pretty please.
Okay, Instagram is Miss Amy Lee 869. Facebook is Amy Lee Murray Palmer. It's my shoot name, motherfuckers. My next appearance is the day before the greatest holiday, St. Patrick's Day, March 17th for Rogue Women's Warriors up there in Stevensville, PA, Fire Hall. It's fucking great. It's a Mennonite building, and I say fuck more than people say the.
Yeah, baby. Gotta love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Lee, once again, coming in representing as a loyal member of the Wrestle Talk family. Jonesy, say goodnight to the people. We got to get out of here. My wife's all sorts of pissed off now. Hit me with some gangster shit on the way out. Glasses go on sale tomorrow, baby. $20 plus shipping. Let me know. We can customize it with your name on it for $5 extra. WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Let's go, baby. Good night. Catch y'all next week, you freaking bums.
All right, Amy Lee, thank you once again. And
Peace out, my brother from another mother.
Peace.
Peace. Oh, my goodness. All right, let's see here. What do I have that's a little bit funky?
Hit me with that G stuff, baby. Got my teeth cleaned this week. Looking good.
I got that passion and passion, Lord. Look for him. What is love with that magic charm? What is your medicine enough, amigo? Siempre forgetlo. Más mujeres porque soy latino. It's something and some water your blood, bud. I don't care if you don't like me. Everybody wants to fight me. You feel it? Hey.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.